Aliens, Predator, and the Terminator. What do all three of these franchises have in common? The first two are really good, and then the rest fall flat and are usually terrible. Except for Predators. That was pretty good. Released in 2000, written by Mark Schultz with art by Mel Ruby. This is Aliens vs. Predator vs. the Terminator. The book opens up in some, crappy slums. Unseen people are talking about how terrible the place is when they spot who they are looking for. Ellen Ripley. So the group of people walk over to her, and for no real reason, Ripley attacks them. Then the woman of the group runs over to Ripley, and she reveals herself as Anna Lee Call, which if you don't know who that is, not surprising. It's Winona Ryder's android character from... Oh, wait a second. If this is Call from... Oh no. This is Alien Resurrection Ripley! Oh god, why? Great. It's that weird xenomorph Ripley clone that is weirdly sexual and angry. Cut to some safe house, and Call and Ripley are catching up. Ripley's all moody about how she can't even die properly or something, I don't know. And how she thrives in the seedy underbelly. Call tells her that the military are back to their old cloning ways. And on a space station called the Typhoon, a scientist named Trollenberg is creating hybrid super soldiers. And it involves the DNA of Linguafoda Archer. It's a xenomorph. I guess that's the scientific name of a xenomorph, but I'm just gonna say xenomorph. On the Typhoon, Trollenberg is given some container when he is alerted that General Helm is heading to the lab. Holy shit, what is under that blanket, beast? Look at those massive feet! So General Helm is in the lab, and he's yelling at Trollenberg for commissioning unauthorized resources and how he's deviating from the original plans of the experiment or whatever. Then he yells more and demands answers. Then Trollenberg shoots and kills all the guards, and then he walks over to Helm's neck and just fucking snaps it. And he drags the body over to the intercom, and Trollenberg imitates Helm's voice. Which doesn't really work that well since this is a comic, but whatever. Trollenberg, under the guise of General Helm, tells the bridge that he will be staying with Trollenberg until the project is complete. And then he throws all the bodies in acid. Back on Earth, Call is continuing her sales pitch to Ripley, and basically Call and her friends are going to infiltrate the Typhoon. Ripley wonders why they need her help, and Call tells her that it's the same technology that cloned her. And then Call starts yelling about how they need to stop it, and Ripley is like, the aliens can't be stopped. The human race is gonna die. It's how it should be. They're just doing what they have to survive. Yeah, this is a really annoying, edgy Ripley. But yeah, she gets angry about being cloned again and how the military took away her peace. It's not like you can't just kill yourself again, Ripley. You already did it once. Just find another giant vat of molten whatever the hell it is and jump back into it. Try not to bleed anywhere this time. So then Call tells Ripley that if she doesn't help, then Call will give the military Ripley's tracking and location information. Cut to the depths of space. A weird crustacean-looking spaceship is flying through space. Inside is a Predator, or a yacht jaw if you want to get specific, and it's flying towards a large space station. At the exact same space station, just on the other side, our heroes arrive in an equally stupid-looking ship. Ripley is ranting about how if there was any power in the universe that could stop the aliens, then it would have already happened. But there isn't, and everything's already dead, blah 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 blah. The group, under the guise of a shitty food delivery service, make their way into the station. They kill some guards and gear up with big-ass future guns, and then they kill more guards and blow the door to the laboratory open. And inside, they find Dr. Trollenberg. A shootout happens and two of the people die, and after getting shot up so much, Trollenberg's skin begins to tear away, revealing a Terminator endoskeleton underneath. I bet you didn't see that coming. Ripley tries to be a badass and attack, but just gets grabbed and starts getting strangled. Then, a ghostly figure appears and shoots the Terminator with a giant blue fireball destroying it. The ragtag group makes their way further into the lab when the Predator is thrown through a wall. What could have done this, you may ask yourself? Well, here's the answer. A fucking massive guy with a weird haircut. Yep. And this massive man is revealed to be an alien Terminator hybrid. How awesome is that? So the Terminator hybrid, you know what? I'll just make this easier on myself. I'll come up with the worst name I can think of. I don't know. Maybe the Termalien. There we go. That's dumb enough to go along with this story. So the Termalien fights the Predator, and then it grabs a bunch of like metal stuff and absorbs it? What the fuck? Also, I guess it adapts to battles. So the Termalien defeats the Predator and like waltzes over to the wall and starts absorbing it, causing a massive hole to open up. I really don't understand how this whole Termalien absorbing thing works, but who cares? The Predator does something which I assume is activating the explosive and then falls out into space. The humans have somehow survived and escaped the lab, taking with them Trollenberg's skull. They race through the corridors and make their way to the ship, while the Termalien breaks all the test tubes Trollenberg had and steals some chestbursters. Then Ripley and friends escape it just in the nick of time, because the whole fucking station explodes. So, while everyone is trying to figure out what just happened, Call, links into Trollenberg's skull. Then she's able to get into the vast ones and zeros that are the Terminator's operating system. And inside, she finds a weird digital world with a man inside. Then the man tells her they activated a sleeper virus, and I'm just gonna make a long story short. This man is John Connor from the 21st century, and he tells her and the readers about the war between man and machine, and how there were some human scientists who reprogrammed some Terminators, and then the Resistance used them, and they broke into the Skynet's headquarters. Skynet created Crypto Terminators, a super advanced infiltrator, to rebuild Skynet of the future. The humans couldn't stop the Crypto Terminators, so they hacked in and set the sleeper virus up. And then John warns her that the Crypto Terminator is designed to perfectly resemble a human, to place themselves in high scientific positions and resurrect Skynet and kill humanity. Whew! That was a lot to take in, right? You know, I'll let you have a little breather. Just sit back and just think that stuff over. And multiple crustacean predator ships suddenly surround them. 3 predators teleport to the ship, and one of the humans, I'll call him Thor, is like, "This is bullshit." So he runs up and gets bitch slapped by a predator. Then Ripley is grabbed by a predator, and they cut her arm. She bleeds acidic blood. Then the predators and Ripley teleport away. And don't worry, I'll call every predator a predator, because none of their designs are different from the others. And then there's this side plot about 2 Termaliens, yeah, there's 2 now, he made another, docking in some ship and waiting around to be taken to the bridge, before finally killing everyone and stealing the ship, and that's it. So Ripley is on the Predator ship, and the Predators don't really give a shit about her, so she sneaks off. Wait, hold on, that Predator has bone suspenders. Anyway, Ripley sneaks off and finds a shit ton of dead xenomorphs for some reason, and xenomorph skeletons in the back of the ship, and then she's grabbed by a predator and tied down to a table and seemingly operated on. She also has this weird dream sequence where she's floating through space and she sees a chest burster in the stars, and then a giant Terminator emerges and tries to grab her. So she wakes up and finds a scar on her neck, and then one of the predators instructs her to follow it, and Ripley is led down a large corridor filled with more predators. They show Ripley an image of an asteroid, and she has a flashback of a genetic alien memory, which allows her to remember that the asteroid is a laboratory for xenomorphs. Hey, remember that ship the Termaliens stole? Well, they arrive at that very same asteroid and begin to dock. Then they smash the whole ship into the structure, killing hundreds or thousands. Cut back to... what the fuck is happening? We were barely gone, Ripley. What are you doing? Ripley is now wearing a bunch of tribal necklaces and is the new leader of the Predators for some reason. Also, she's come to the conclusion that man is the true monster, and she has this whole speech about how man fears what is above us on the cosmic food chain. But what is above us is just doing what it has to survive. Then a predator splashes either blood or Kool-Aid on Ripley's face, and Ripley takes a blade and is like, "The crab faces understand the true nature of the universe. The hybrid Termaliens are a threat to the balance, and the crab faces know they have to die. The strange blood makes us allies. They don't care for my human side, but oh, do they respect and approve the alien in me. First off, no one ever calls the predators predators in this book or anything else. They always call them crab faces. Second, what? Why the fuck would the predators approve of this human who has fucking xenomorph blood in her? We just saw that the predators have basically committed genocide on xenomorphs from that fucking giant room with all the dead ones in it. If anything is fucking with the balance of this red carnivorous universe, it's the fucking alien human hybrid clone Ripley. What about her? She's just basically a shittier version of the Termalians. The Termalians break into this like holding facility with a bunch of xenomorphs and giant test tubes and begin creating more Termalians. Hey, remember Call and her friends? Well, they finally made it to the asteroid. How? It's not important. They find the asteroid completely surrounded by a giant military fleet. Then, something on the surface happens. A, giant hole ignites and the entire fleet is destroyed. You see, what happened was Ripley and the Predators snuck inside. What the fuck is she doing? Now she has goddamn war paint. They purposely activated some alarm causing like a chain reaction to cause some giant explosion so the fleet is blown up and the base is now low on power because of it. Then Ripley leads her invincible army to battle. The Predators fight the Termalians. This time the Termalians look like big black monster things, but Ripley's invincible army is quickly getting annihilated. Then a predator explodes themselves, destroying mostly all of the belligerents. Ripley makes her way to that test tube room from earlier and releases the xenomorphs. And she's like, "This is what I was born to do. Holy shit! Now we have Termalians fighting predators, fighting xenomorphs. What a totally awesome scene and not a complete clusterfuck." So, as this carnage occurs, obviously all the blood from the xenomorphs is getting everywhere. And it's fucking up the space station really bad. But Ripley spots the main Termalian trying to escape and she gives chase. But runs into Call and Thor. Call asks what happened, but Ripley tells them to just get the hell out of there. Then a xenomorph appears behind Ripley and she kills it. So, Call and friends escape as the Termalian heads to steal a ship. But the two parties luckily escape the giant explosion of the asteroid. On the Termalian's ship, the final scene from Alien plays out, with the role of Ripley being played by the Termalian and the role of the xenomorph being played by a self-righteous asshole clone of Ripley. Ripley attempts to get a sneak attack and drive the knife right into the Termalian's eye, but the Termalian grabs her and slams her into the wall. Then, Ripley just fucking cuts her wrist, causing her acidic blood to shoot all over the ship and the Termalian, blowing the ship to smithereens. The book ends with Call, Thor, and the bald goatee man flying away. The end.